Okay, picture this. You're talking to someone, and their eyes are, well, they're everywhere except on you, right? They're looking at the floor, the ceiling, maybe your shoulder, literally anywhere else. And you can't help but start wondering, are they bored? Am I boring them? Wait, are they lying to me? Or, oh no, do they just not like me? We've all been there, right? Running through that same mental checklist. But what if the answer to all of those questions is a big nope? Because what you're seeing, it's probably not rudeness. And it's not disinterest. In most cases, it's actually the brain doing something incredibly human. It's protecting itself. And I promise you, once you understand why, you'll never look at this the same way again. So our first stop is the brain's own protective shield. How exactly is it protecting itself? Well, for a huge number of people, it all comes down to social anxiety. This is where even a totally friendly gaze can feel, well, like a direct threat. Okay, so it all starts in this one little part of the brain called the amygdala. Now, this is your brain's ancient primal threat detection system. Think of it like a super sensitive smoke alarm for social situations. For most of us, it's fine. But for someone with social anxiety, direct eye contact can set that alarm off, just screaming, danger, danger, even when there's absolutely no fire. And why does that happen? Because their brain is interpreting that simple gaze as something intense, like being evaluated, judged, and just completely scrutinized. So what does the brain do when it feels threatened? It avoids. Looking away becomes this automatic safety behavior, a way to reduce that feeling of threat and just calm the whole system down. You know, this reminds me of a high achiever I once knew. Absolutely brilliant at her job, but the second we were in a meeting, she would just freeze up under a direct gaze. She'd stare at her notes like they held the secrets of the universe. And it wasn't incompetence, not at all. It was her brain just trying to survive what felt like a spotlight interrogation. But here's the thing, it's not just about anxiety. The rules for eye contact can also change completely depending on someone's culture, or even just how their brain is wired. This is where things get really interesting. It's really a tale of two completely different social rule books. So in many Western cultures, like the US or the UK, we're taught from day one that eye contact means you're confident, honest, and engaged. But in many Eastern and indigenous cultures, the exact opposite can be true. Avoiding a direct gaze, especially with an elder or someone in authority, isn't rude. It's a sign of deep respect and humility. So just imagine that for a second. A person navigating these differences isn't being difficult or shady. They're trying to follow two completely different and often contradictory social rule books at the exact same time. That's a huge mental load. And then there's the neurological side. For many neurodivergent people, especially those on the autism spectrum, eye contact isn't just uncomfortable, it can be genuinely painful. I love this quote. It feels like staring at the sun. Beautiful, but it hurts. It just captures it so perfectly. It's a total sensory and emotional overload, kind of like someone shining a bright flashlight directly in your eyes while you're trying to have a conversation. And here's the big twist, the thing most people don't realize. For many neurodivergent people, looking away is actually how they listen more intently. Yeah, you heard that right. By not looking at you, they're not spending all their mental energy just trying to tolerate the pain of your gaze. Looking away actually frees them up to really focus on your words. All right, let's move on and tackle the big one, the Great Deception myth. This is the one we've all been taught since we were kids, that looking away means someone is lying. So let's ask it plainly. Does avoiding eye contact automatically mean someone is trying to deceive you? The simple answer? Unlikely. In fact, all the research shows it's one of the least reliable ways to try and spot a lie. And here's why it's such a poor lie detector. First off, study after study shows no strong, reliable link between the two. And get this, practiced liars, they know this myth. So what do? They often overcompensate with way too much eye contact to seem honest. So what does looking away usually signal? Not deception, but internal discomfort. Things like shame, or vulnerability, or even guilt. It's less I'm lying to you and much more I feel totally exposed right now. Okay, so with all this new understanding, what can we actually do about it? Well, whether you're the one looking away or the one watching, there is a path to connection. It's all about gentle strategies for expanding your comfort zone totally on your own terms. So if this is something you struggle with, here are 3 gentle techniques you can try. First, just start small. Practice holding a gaze for like 1 to 3 seconds with someone you really trust. Easy enough. Second, you can try the triangle method. Just gently shift your gaze between their left eye, their right eye, and their mouth. And a great little trick, just look at the bridge of their nose. Seriously, from a normal distance, most people can't even tell the difference. And please, remember this. The goal isn't perfection. It's not about forcing yourself to become some ideal of a perfect communicator. It's about self-compassion. It's about finding a way to connect with others that feels safe and authentic for you. So, let's bring it all home. The next time you're talking to someone and their eyes dart away, I want you to pause and remember what we've talked about. It's rarely about them being bored or trying to lie to you. It's almost always about protection, culture, or just the unique way their brain is wired. Honestly, understanding this can change everything. It turns that instant judgment into empathy, not just for other people, but for yourself too. So I'll leave you with this question. Who will you see differently now?